I can't believe that I'm about to do this. We are about to go racing for a 50% 100 lap Daytona 500 here in the 2018 update of NASCAR Heat 2. As you can see, I have decided to focus on the Smithfield today for a custom Camaro paint scheme, and it's definitely going to be a very bright, very flamboyant car today. As you can tell, it's kind of like a 90s solo cup with the pink and the purple and the petty blue and as many colors as I could stick on there that would stick out, because this is going to be a long race, and you got to know which car I am throughout the pack. So 40 cars. We're going to be starting at the back, but we got a long 3-race stage to get it done. So here we go. I'm crazy, and this is 100 laps at Daytona. Alright, here goes nothing. 100 laps for the Daytona 500. We are underway. Chase, I don't know how to pronounce your name correctly, so I'm not even going to try. Cobra is right in front of me. Or Carbra, or Caber, or Colbert, whatever, however you want to pronounce it. He's on the outside, and we're around him. And he's actually fallen to the back quite quickly, so he may be in trouble already. Gonna lose the draft, but look at this run we get on the back straightaway underneath Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton. Ironically enough, those two were dueling in the K&N race last night. I saw on Twitter. Fantastic finish. But anyway, Haley Deegan moves down in front of me. We got a long way to go, and we are not driving like we got a long way to go. We got DJ Kennington up top, and we are going to lose position because I got down on the apron, and that is a no-go place. In the corners especially. It's out of bounds on the back straightaway, obviously, as we found out in the clash with Ricky Stenhouse, feeling the brunt of that. But it's certainly out of bounds on the corners because physics don't let you go down there on the corners. But anyway, Harrison Burton not really particularly letting me in line there. You may have noticed as we crossed the line, we've got 28 laps in the first stage. Good grief. This is going to be almost as long as the truck race, just one stage. Looking at the fuel, we've got 20 laps in the fuel tank. So it's going to be a significant amount of time we'll be able to run by ourselves. Not by ourselves. I hope we're not by ourselves for 20 laps. But we'll be able to run and not have to worry about fuel for a while. So Harrison Burton moves up the track. We're going to get him behind DJ Kennington here in our Smithfield Camaro. I guess we're running a petty satellite car or something. I don't know. Come up with your own headcanon as to where my car came from, how I ended up with a Smithfield car. Maybe Land Speed Racing is back. We haven't had Land Speed Racing in a while. That kind of was a NASCAR 15 thing. We are going down the back straightaway. I guess this is the Land Speed Racing Smithfield Camaro. That doesn't even make any sense, but here we go. Matt DiBenedetto, who apparently is running that scheme in the Daytona 500 now, because Go Fast Racing can't make up their minds. They had like a freaking Storm Chasers paint scheme for qualifying, and now they're going to go back to the Kappa car for some reason. I have no idea why. Maybe the Storm Chasers didn't pay him or something. 26 to go in stage number 1. So we're going to be a quarter of the way done with this race by the time we reach the end of stage 1. And underneath DJ Kennington and Matt DiBenedetto, and moving up a few more spots. I didn't have the leaderboard up there. Apologize for the last couple laps. Get in behind Carbra here and go down the back straightaway. Going to try to work to the inside of him, as well as Michael McDowell, which we will be able to do. So 3 wide, working off into turn number 3 at Daytona. Todd Gilliland just out in front. This race should take about an hour and a half, I'm assuming. I think I did one of these in NASCAR Heat Evolution, and it was about 90 minutes was the time for the race. So this will be a long one. You already know that. I'm just telling myself that, as we are starting to move up almost in the top 30 as we're behind our rival from the career mode, Ty Majeski. Not able to get around him yet. Haley Deegan working back around the outside. We're going to go diving down to the inside of Majeski. We're going to try to get 2-for-1 deal at Kmart here down into turn 3. I think we'll be able to do it. Majeski and Deegan are way to the outside, and they will be bye-bye For some reason, the 88 car is back here of Bowman. That is a bit unrealistic. Or maybe that's just predicting where he's going to end up in the race. Who knows? As of yet, we'll really know, I think, who has a real good shot at winning the real-life Daytona 500 after the duels on Thursday, I suspect. But my pick's looking pretty good. Brad Keselowski won the Clash. So, fingers crossed I actually get one thing right, because I certainly didn't get the pole sitter right. William Byron let me down, but oh well. Okay, so we're up in the top 30 here now, finally. Well, I shouldn't say finally. We've got a long way to go. And here's the funny thing is that when I did the DJ Kennington race, I was able to move right up through the field very quickly and fairly easily. I guess it was because I was in a cheating Toyota, but we're 28th position right now, 5 laps into the going, and we're going to try to get underneath that Hendrick horsepower. Not going to happen this time, as Johnson and Bowman are side by side. Now we're going to try to sneak to the inside. Not quite going to be able to get that horsepower on the inside. Johnson's trying to move down. We got the spotter's nightmare, at least half of the spotter's nightmare with Paul Menard. In fact, a lot of the Hendrick machinery back here. Maybe they're all trying to avoid the wreck. I don't know. We're going to have, I'm sure, at least one big one throughout this race. If we run 100 laps clean, I'd be very, very surprised. As Byron and Bowman are side by side. The Hendrick next generation. Running for glory right here, but we're going to show them the glory of the Smithfield car. Get to the inside. Almost make contact with Bowman. A little bit of sparks. Maybe we did make contact, but it wasn't very severe contact. And we'll try to, yeah, the spotter cleared me, so we're going to move in front of Bowman. Now down the back straightaway to the inside of Cole Witt. That really should be Corey LaJoie, but whatever. And now we'll force Witt up the road, and I see another Smithfield car. There can only be one true Smithfield car, and it is not you, Eric Almirola. We're going to try to get around you, as we are side by side with Carl Long, who is way, way up the field. Way up the field for Carl Long, as we're side by side with him. Now in behind Brendan Gaughan. We're going to go to the outside of him as well. I just realized we're doing, uh-oh. Well, there it is. That didn't take long. The big one at Daytona. Wow, that is just a kick flip off of Chris Buescher. And that's going to mean we're going to be in the pits. I was just about to say before that happened that we're doing 25 more laps than the actual Clash is at Daytona. Woo! Well, we made 8 laps without the big one. So, prediction, if we assume that this race goes, you know, is sped up ×2, lap 16 will be when the first big one happens, and there'll be a double kickflip in which the Smithfield car and the freaking Kleenex car will go flying off of each other. I just realized Corey LaJoie is in the Daytona 500, and you also have Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher is driving a Kleenex car. Oh! And Randy LaJoie used to drive the Kleenex car in the Busch Series when he had his kind of biggest successes. Just kind of an interesting thought. I remember I had that old Kleenex die-cast, and the reason I remember it because it was a nice deep shade of purple, and ironically teal. It was purple and teal. So we're kind of, I guess, running a tribute to Randy LaJoie with a purple and teal car. But anyway, enough of the old man ranting about the Busch Series. We need to get focused back on the Smithfield here. Whoa, and Eric Jones is not really a particular fan of Smithfield bacon, it seems, because he chopped down on me. And now Buescher falls to the back, and Buescher may be losing the draft quickly, because it seems like he's falling off the pace a significant amount with all that damage from flipping over on the back straightaway. I'm surprised, or not on the back straightaway, we're on the back straightaway now, but flipping over in turn 1. You gotta wonder why he did not come into the pits, but it looks like Buescher is almost for certain sure going to lose the draft. And he'll probably be the first car 1 lap down when things start cycling around. But here's the thing now. We've come into the pits, so if we have more than 20 laps to go, we may be able to get some really good track position by the end of the stage. We'll have to wait and see as we cross the line here. 16 laps to go, so yeah, we are going to have some fantastic track position. And if we can get around some of these other guys here in the back, we could be in for a real good shot here in the end of stage number 1 to get a stage victory. Hey, I'll take stage number 1 if we can get it. And behind David Reagan. Actually, behind both of the front row motorsports cars. Reagan, that was a little bit of a questionable move by Reagan. Not really sure where he was going. In behind Michael McDowell, we'll sneak to the inside of him. Nice draft off of Carbra here. And not really a good draft anymore because Michael McDowell somehow managed to get in front of us. 15 to go in stage number 1. We'll move to the outside of Michael McDowell. He's trying to shove me up just a little bit. I'm going to not let that happen. Definitely not moving up nearly as fast as we were at the beginning of the race either. Seems like every stage we go, contact with the wall for Carl Long as he pushed up into the wall trying to avoid a 3-wide action going down or coming out of turn 2. It seems like every stage the AI always gets a little bit more tough. Or should I say every restart. As we got road course ringer AJ Allmendinger just in front of us. And we're going to have to be careful here because when they come into the pits, as we saw in the DJ Kennington video, and as we have seen in previous plate racing videos, the AI, when they come into the pits, they don't give you a whole lot of warning. Whoa, 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 big slowdown. Big slowdown, car in trouble. It's Menard. The spotter's nightmare has caused me nightmares by blowing up, coming through turn number 2, and that may have affected my front aerodynamics. I can't remember what, that's not the right camera. Yeah, we've definitely got some damage up front. Thankfully, Carl Long is in behind us and will push us here. So we're not completely out of the, or in the woods here, as proverbially speaking. If we can just kind of stay with Carl and just draft with him, it's not going to be nearly as bad as it could be. But we definitely got AJ Allmendinger and a lot of other guys who got screwed by that falling Paul Menard, or faltering Paul Menard. This may actually have helped Chris Buescher. If he didn't fall too far back, he may be able to catch onto the back of our little pack here. We'll have to see. As Carl Long making a move there, as well as AJ Allmendinger, we're going to essentially Pied Piper. Well, I always hate doing this because I always feel like I'm going to lose the draft. We'll see. As we'll keep AJ Allmendinger just in front of me here, or just behind me. We'll let Carl Long try to sneak in front if he can do it. And now we can, yeah, we're going to get a good draft going then with David Gilliland. Or not David Gilliland, excuse me, Todd Gilliland. David is in the real Daytona 500. Todd is in our 50% simulation. So Carl leading this little pack. Allmendinger looking to the inside. We're trying to stay in that draft with Carl Long, and Allmendinger just pulled out by himself, so that's not going to help him very much. Got a really good run on Long going into turn 3. Thankfully, that pulls us around AJ Allmendinger for the moment. And there's pit. Oh, was that a crash? No, it's pit stops. Wow, that caused a wreck because we've got a car in trouble up here. We're going to slam into him under yellow. Wonderful. But, yeah, that was Harvick getting turned as everybody came into the pits. So we won't need to pit. We will stay out. We'll get some track position. And we'll go back to racing here at Daytona in the lead next to Ryan Newman, the 2008 winner of the Daytona 500. So here we go. Race back on. Paul Menard still in the pit, so it looks like the first retirement of the race is Paul Menard. As we get racing here, I actually lifted off the gas on the restart because I knew if I get way too good of a restart, they are going to swamp me on this restart. So Kyle Busch in behind. He's looking to the outside. McFlurry is to the inside. We'll chop down in front of McFlurry. And M&M's. We got an M&M McFlurry behind us, everybody. I do love me some M&M McFlurries. This is some good. There's some good Dondos eating right there. But we got to keep them both behind me here. I think we may have blocked Kyle enough here to allow McFlurry to get a good run behind us. And here comes the M&M portion of that McFlurry, looking to the outside. Oh, look at that blocking move. We are being the Pied Piper right now. But I feel like a bit like, oh, this is like a 2018 plate race where I'm a sit and duck as the leader, and there's the mistake. I knew it was coming. McFlurry's getting pushed to the front by William Byron, and as well, Smithfield going to the inside. So the prevailing Smithfield car right now is Eric Almirola, but we will get back in the line behind Almirola. We somehow managed to get in front of Kurt Busch. I don't know how. And now Kyle, whoa! Man, we're under the yellow line underneath Kyle Busch, but that time, definitely contact that forced me down below the yellow line, so we'll be sliding into 5th place here. Numa got shuffled out on that restart as well. He's back here with Casey Kane. Now we're going to go 3 wide between underneath the Busch brothers. Good move, getting that focus on the Smithfield just in front of us of Eric Almirola. 6 to go in the stage, and we are getting a heck of a run, 205 miles an hour. That's faster than they've ever gone here at Daytona before, says Darrell Waltrip, even though that's completely not true. They were going faster in the tandem era and during the non-plate era, but Fax and DW never really seemed to go together very well. All right, let's get this Smithfield tandem going here on the bottom. It seems like McFlurry is just, why did they pull out so far? That was just a big mistake by those guys. They are about to get swarmed by William Byron and me as we get in behind them. We got a Smithfield lane going, and we got McFlurry, a very warm McFlurry. I think that McFlurry's going to melt with all that flames behind it. Casey Kane behind us, and then it looks like Alex Bowman has moved up. So suddenly the Hendrick guys have come to play here at the end of stage 1. Didn't take them long, did it? Just took a little bit of pit strategy to get them back up into the front. But look how sad my 36 is looking. It's about broken in half. My God, it's broken in half. So there's a Smithfield 1-2 here at Daytona. Ford from Chevy. Casey Kane running behind me. McFlurry gets hung out to dry on the outside. He doesn't have any partners up there. At least no strong partners. What have we got here? We're going to give Almirola a shove. 4 to go. We're going to see if we can get Almirola as a sitting duck here. Are we actually touching him? Not quite. We're using that bubble of air right there in front of him. He actually pulls away. His car seems to be handling a little bit better in the corners. If we back up, I think if I back up a little bit, I think that may be where we get our run. As we get in here behind Eric Almirola. Absolutely locked to his bumper, even though we're not quite touching. We're not going to run in this view the whole race, but we do need to get underneath Casey, or to block Casey Kane. That was almost Kane taking advantage of me right there as I was trying to draft Almirola. It wasn't quite working. Kane really working the bottom of the track, trying to get that momentum going underneath there. We move up the track just a little bit. That's not what I want to be doing. So if I back up just a little bit into Kane, I think that's where our run is going to come from Almirola. Let's see how much we can get here on the back straightaway. Not very much, because we don't have a really good helper from behind. Kane, I don't know why he moved up and let Bowman through. That was a bit silly of him. Chase Elliott is back here as well. So all the Hendrick guys are right here, and former Hendrick guys, I guess if you count Casey Kane. Almirola looking to the outside. Maybe Almirola who takes this stage win. We got 2 to go, so it's time to go, I think. I think in the real Daytona 500, you're going to have to go with 1 lap to go. A lot of people were questioning why in the Clash everybody was in a line until 1 lap to go. Well, the guys at the back, I don't understand why they didn't go, but the guys second through about 5th place, if you go to the front from 5th place with 2 laps to go, you're still going to be a sitting duck on that last lap. But in this kind of plate racing, this older style, 2017 style, you need to go as soon as you get a run, because you can't hold the lead for about a lap and a half, I'd say. Certainly Almirola's been holding it longer than that, but I don't know if my car is particularly strong enough to take the lead. But here we go. So here comes the run. Who is going to get this stage victory? We're going to come to 1 lap to go. And we've got the run on Almirola. I'm absolutely foot to the floor planted here. Just going to stick on Almirola's bumper here. Into turn 1, going to try to sneak to the inside. Not going to quite happen. We definitely made contact there for just a split second. We need Bowman to go with us if we're going to do this, which he did. Can we get to the inside, though? Bowman, go with us. Go with us. Go with us. You forsaken your Chevy teammate? You jerk. Oh, I let Bowman in. I let Bowman in. Oh, what a mistake. I just blew the Smithfield 1-2. Well, we know what we're not. If it comes down to a shootout at the end of the race, we know what we don't need to do. We fall to 5th place behind Numa, and in fact, Bowman's going to get the stage win. Smithfield gets locked out here at the end of stage 1. So Bowman will win stage 1, apparently, according to NASCAR Heat 2, and we will have to pit under this stage caution, get some repairs, get some tires, get some fuel, and we'll be at the back once again. Paul Menard, 16 laps behind the race, still not out, so he must. He's definitely exceeded the 6-minute clock, so he will be parked. Now he's still sitting in the garage. So we've got the two foreigners, the Galdern foreigners, as we go underneath the Canadian and the Mexican, Suarez and Kennington, and get back to racing here. Front Row Motorsports, actually more like Back Row Motorsports back here. No one's ever made that joke before. But starting stage 2 off with a bang. Well, hopefully not a bang, as Buescher falls back. So clearly that flip earlier in the race definitely affected him adversely, as you think it would, as we push Reagan underneath Cabra. And we've definitely got some 3-wide action here, because Suarez just made a big move on the outside. Just looked in my mirror, and there he is on the outside. So we're already racing pretty crazy here in stage 2. Reagan going to block me to the inside. Fair play to him, but he moves back up a lane, so we're going to be able to get underneath him. They are 4 wide behind. 4 wide behind for last freaking place. Suarez, McDowell, Kennington, and Buescher all were 4 freaking wide. That was a bit, I will say, a bit ambitious for not a lot of potential gain right there, folks. As we're going to make it 3 wide underneath. Oh, and that side draft was a little too close. Slightly too savage on that side draft with David Reagan coming off the corner. And Reagan gets blocked by Carl Long, so we'll take advantage of that slight loss in momentum for that 38 car. I tried to get underneath Carl Long, gave him a little bit of a bump draft in the corner. You generally don't want to be doing that too much, so we'll try not to do it for the rest of this race. But here we go, Jimmy the Juggernaut just looking ahead, 25 laps to go in this stage, so we'll be halfway through the race, or just over halfway through the race at the end of this stage. Underneath, Road Course Ringer, AJ Allmendinger, Haley Deegan, and Jimmy the Juggernaut. And we'll try to get underneath him, couldn't quite get it done. No one really drafted with me there. We're right at 30th position. Cole Witt looking around the outside of Carl Long. AJ Allmendinger almost blocked me going into turn 3. I had to jump out of the gas slightly, but we'll actually be able to slide underneath. And also slide underneath Haley Deegan. Try to get all the way to the bottom. Can't quite get there. Jimmy the Juggernaut holding station just in front of me. Give him a little bit of a bump draft. Try to get him going here. Not quite working out for me. Not quite working out for me. DiBenedetto, not a lot of drafting help for him. We got Penske teammates working together on the very top side of the track. Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney, and they both get into the wall. So the Penske car's not having a good run right now. Come on, Brad. I've got my pride riding on you right now. You've got to win this thing. I picked you to win. It's not going too well right now, as we just stick it underneath Jimmy Johnson. Can't quite get there. We're going to go side by side with Jimmy. Now it's going to be 3 wide with us and Blaney. Eric Jones just ahead. Will cross the line or ahead of both of them. Now make a big move to the outside. There's trouble. Evasive action down to the inside. Is that Bowman in trouble? I think it's Bowman. Bowman blowing an engine here in stage 2. So Alex Bowman, after winning a stage, is out of the Daytona 500. And now we have the pack reforming here, as DJ Kennington's going to have a huge run to the inside. We actually blocked him effectively there. And actually, we didn't lose the pack like I thought we might have. It's definitely more spread out, but we're still fairly together. I definitely made a very big move get around those guys who were getting slowed up by Alex Bowman. Thankfully, we were able to get through there without much trouble. We're still in 20th position, gained about 10 spots actually by taking that evasive action. Ironically enough, we'd probably be getting a penalty if NASCAR enforced their rules the way they enforced them in the Clash, but thankfully they don't in this game. So I will kind of count my blessings on that one as we'll get in here behind Harrison Burton and on the outside of Chase Cobber. So a couple of K&N regulars right here. It makes me think that they'll have K&N in the next game, by the way. I really am crossing my fingers that they will. That would add a lot of great new tracks to the schedule, and it would definitely help flesh out career mode even more than it already is. But we'll wait and see. I certainly am in favor of them adding K&N, and man, would it be cool if we got Gen 4 cars back in a NASCAR game. But anyway, that's not for now. This is what we need to focus on now, is focusing on getting back to the front. But we've definitely got a good pack here. We've got Dylan and Cabra. Jimmy the Juggernaut is up in here as well, as Austin Dillon leading. And being by ourselves on the outside is not the wisest decision there, Mr. Land. So we'll sneak in back behind Cabra. And here comes some pit stops. So this is where we saw trouble the last time. Are they going to be able to get into the pits all right this time? We'll find out. But we are all by ourselves out front, so we're going to need Jimmy to work with us. Work with us, Jimmy. We're third place right now. Numa and Kyle Busch leading the race from Juggernaut and Blaney and myself. It's your top five, not in that order because I didn't read it in the order, but clearly if you can read, if you're literate, you can read the top five in the order that they are actually in. So Numa, Kyle Busch, just out in front, 3 seconds ahead, but they should be coming into the pits this time. We will have to come in the next time by, and it looks like Kyle Busch is out of fuel. Kyle Busch is out of fuel. He is fading fast, and they all come into the pits. We have still got 14 laps in our tank, so hopefully we will come out here as we take the lead with 19 laps to go in stage number 2. Yes, and we will come out with some sort of a pack to work with, so this is exactly what we needed to happen. And it happened. So good. Good. And we pick up the draft. Is that Almirola up there? No, it is not. That is another Stewart-Haas car. That is Kevin Harvick. But regardless, we'll be able to work with both of them. In fact, that is Almirola just in front, I believe, of Harvick. So 2 Stewart-Haas cars, 1 Smithfield car. Will help us work with another help our own Smithfield car by working with the other Smithfield car. So we'll try to get the draft off of Harvick, pull up to the back of him. We should be able to do that, assuming nobody gets LePaged right here, because it looks like there's some slow cars coming out of the pits. Everybody works around the outside of the slow cars coming out of the pits. It's definitely helping us get back to Harvick and Almirola. There's Logano going slow. Looks like Harvick's maybe get LePaged here. No, he's going to make the move. Oh, no, he got LePaged. He didn't run into the back of him, but he did get slowed up. But it's going to be Smithfield hooking up here once again. So we'll be the leader mid-pack, but of course, almost got a full lap on the rest of the field. Because now it's just going to be save some fuel. Right in the pack behind Gilliland and Almirola. That can't be for position, can it? No, it is. Gilliland's all the way up here to 9th, so good for him, even though he falls back. And we're actually running fast enough that we're going to be able to pass Almirola, get in here behind Martin Truex Jr. So now, the race will kind of settle in here for the next 11 laps. As Kyle Busch looks like he's fairly slow, but we're not going to go with Truex. We're just going to kind of keep this pack going. William Byron is the second place man. He's just right up there, leading that second pack. We've almost got the full field 1 lap down. So here comes Gilliland up behind to help kind of keep me pushed up near this pack. A lot of Toyotas actually up in this pack. We've got Gilliland, Busch, Truex. Numa has taken the second place back with help from Kurt Busch and Ricky Stenhouse moving underneath. William Byron falls to 5th. And now I'm going to try to help get the second pack up into the lead group. so we can get a super PAC going. Wait, this isn't a political election. We don't need any super PACs. Anyway, let's see what we can do. Get behind Truex. We'll go into cockpit view for a little while. Well, that wasn't a very good drive off of turn 4. We'll have to make sure Gilliland stays behind us, but a little bit of cockpit view action never hurt anybody. You can see the difference. I went in cockpit view during the DJ Kennington video. You can see the difference in the digital dash between this Chevrolet and the Toyota I was driving with DJ Kennington. Car definitely moving around a lot in the banking. We're not able to keep that straight, lined up draft behind Truex. As we look over just slightly to Dave, or I did it again, to Todd Gilliland. Oh, as the car works up the track just a little bit. It's definitely a different sensation driving this game in cockpit view. As Gilliland looks to the inside, he's not quite there. 14 laps to go in stage 2. Continue to draft with Truex. And there's a yellow. So that's a perfect opportunity to come into the pits and trap most of the field a lap down. Heck yeah, look at that. Look at that all working out all nicely for me. So 7 cars on the lead lap. Just 7 of them. Should we do this? No, I'm not going to do this restart in cockpit view because otherwise we'll probably wreck. Here we go, back to racing with 7 cars on the Daytona 500 lead lap. A very lucky break for me with that yellow flag, but the BS caution managed to get everybody grouped back together, so we're going to be seeing some close competition. As Amino Likey the outside. So we fall back significantly. Sorry, Kevin. At the very least, he didn't run into the back of me like friggin' Larson did to Jimmy the Juggernaut in the friggin' Clash, wreck everybody. So I appreciate that. We're still only 6th. Todd Gilliland is all the way in the back because he got the lucky dog, but of course when you get the lucky dog, you go right to the back. You have to pass all the lap cars again, so rip Todd Gilliland, at least for now, unless we get another yellow, in which case he'll move back up. Well, we will get another yellow in 10 laps. So we've got 21 laps of fuel. We probably won't even have to pit at the end of this stage if we don't want to. Probably keep everybody trapped a lap down. As Stenhouse moves up the track just a little bit, almost into the wall. And now working side by side with Kevin Harvick down the back straightaway, and Harvick's actually going to pull around. But we got Stenhouse we can pass for position. Then it's going to be Kurt Busch, who's also stuck on the outside. So all the lap cars are trying to get their laps back, which is again a good strategy, and then they may actually be able to pull off at least some of them. Certainly looks like guys like Logano and Blaney will be able to do that. And we are halfway through the 50% Daytona 500. We're only 35 minutes in, so maybe this won't take quite an hour and a half. We'll see. So we try to get underneath Stenhouse Jr. and Kurt Busch. That could be a 2-for-1 deal at Kmart, which we will be able to do thanks to Chase Elliott blocking like he always does on the plate tracks. Well, that time I appreciate it. Thank you, Chase. Appreciate that little help from the Camaro teammate to get around those feisty Fords. And now we will be looking to get Martin Truex Jr., who we couldn't get in the last segment of the race before that caution under green flag pit stop conditions. And Ryan Blaney now has no drafting partner in the outside lane. He is going to get hung out to dry, as we'll give Truex a nice bump down here. Well, he's going to... I don't know if I intentionally... I guess it's... Well, the bumpers don't line up. So I ran into the back of Martin Truex Jr. and worked him up in the track into Ryan Blaney, as we're going to go side by side down here into turn 2 and pull around the inside of Martin Truex. So give me another position. We'll go up to 3rd. Byron and Newman are actually leading this thing outright, so the lap cars have not been able to get their laps back yet. But boy, is Almirola and Logano trying. If I could get Almirola out front, that would be fantastic, because then I could just ride behind Almirola like I did at the end of the first stage. But this time it won't be for position, so we won't have to really worry about passing him. We can just use him as a drafting partner. as T. Bain's not really wanting to go underneath Logano despite my urging by pushing him. But now Ryan Newman got rooted out of there, so Newman about to go back to the back. And as well, William Byron gets rooted out, so lap cars are going to be going to the front here, and they are going to be able to get back on the lead lap. At least Almirola is going to be able to do that. If Logano is smart, he'll get underneath friggin' William Byron and get that lap back, and it looks like he indeed will. So it looks like if we can just stay behind the Bain train here, we'll be able to get into that lead, or take that lead, and also get the Smithfield back on the lead lap, which it now is. So 3 of those fast Fords back on the lead lap as we go 6 laps to go on the stage, and back to the lead we go. Oh, whoa, dang it. I kind of didn't want to pass the lap cars. I had a huge run on the lap cars, and I was like, well, I don't really want to race lap cars, but in doing so, backing out on a plate track, you're always going to have a bad time, and I should have realized that. That was stupid of me. But William Byron is still getting rooted out there on the outside. In fact, we've completely lost Ryan Newman. He's completely gone. I don't know what happened to him. Chase Elliott going up there to help his Hendrick teammate, and now going to dump him. So Byron just absolutely getting rooted out there. So it's Truex from Byron, from Stenhouse, from me, and that is the order right now looking to finish the stage. McFlurry is up here trying to get his lap back. I think there's a few other guys up here that are almost about to get their lap. Well, yeah, it's McFlurry and Elliott, and Elliott's got 1 car to pass to get his lap back, and the lap cars are 3 wide out in front of the leader. Truex, who is not being as nice as I was to the lap cars, he's going to re-lap Logano and Almirola, and now we're going to run in behind Almirola and try to get the second lane working if we can. It's not working now, so we'll go in the center. This is a bad idea. That was a bad idea. And we just managed to cut McFlurry off. Well, the only one who may get his lap back here the legit way, the hard way, is the Trevor Bayne. It looks like maybe Chase Elliott will be able to do it. He's going to have to sneak to the inside of Truex to do it, though, and also not allow Stenhouse or myself around. I don't know how many more laps we have in the stage as well. We could try to get this stage win. At the very least, we can get that, find out what we need to do to win this race if it comes down to a duel. So we got 3 laps to go. We'll work that outside lane, try to get that momentum, keep that momentum. And I've made a mistake. Outside, bad move there. And Elliott didn't let me back in. That's going to allow Stenhouse back, and I'm going to be a sitting duck here on the back straightaway. So I'm going to have to try to block 3 lanes of traffic. It's not going to happen, but I can at least keep the car that was for position behind me, which is William Byron, and try to refocus that momentum as now Elliott and Bayne are back around the leaders, and into the pits goes William Byron. So is this more Hendrick issues, or are these cars that can't make it on fuel? That's certainly a possibility right now as we are coming to the last lap in the stage. McFlurry trying to get his lap back. Bayne falls a lap down again, but he's in the lucky dog position unless Elliott gets lapped, in which case Elliott's the lucky dog. That's going to be close for the lucky dog, and it looks like it's going to be Chase Elliott, but McFlurry is going for it. McFlurry could get it if I give him a good bump draft here. We're at 208 miles an hour to turn 3, and for the lucky dog, we gave McFlurry the shot of his life, and Jamie McFlurry is going to move up into that lucky dog position. We're going to work to the outside, try to get around McFlurry. It's not going to work, but McFlurry's going to get that lucky dog. We'll take 3rd in the... No, it's not the last lap. It's not the last lap. It is not the last lap, but there is William Byron coming out of the pits just in front of the leaders. This could be trouble. This could be big trouble. And he slows up a significant portion of the field down there. Guidance Counselor Brad, trouble, contact with McFlurry. Here comes Chase Elliott trying to get that lucky dog back. He gets it into the wall. Look at, here comes Chase Elliott. This is the craziest racing I've ever had. And we go around the outside. They're out of fuel. They're out of fuel. We're going to get the stage win. We're going to get the stage win. This is the best racing I've ever had in NASCAR Heat. It only took halfway through a 50% race. And we're going to take a stage win. What don't you like about stage racing? I don't know. But we just won that stage. Taking it, stealing it from cars that ran out of fuel on the last lap of the stage. Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Todd Gilliland were the other guys who managed to make it without having to pit. And looking at the field, it looks like we should probably come in as well. 11 laps is probably not going to do us much good, especially considering there's 41 laps in the race, meaning we can make it on one more pit stop, assuming it goes green flag all the way. We'll see. We're here at 42 minutes on my capture card, probably a little bit less than that because I did the intro and whatnot in terms of the race time. So here we go. Lots of cars are now in the pits. It looks like definitely, I don't know there's definitely Bowman is in the pits and Menard, but not sure on the other driver. It looked like it was a red and white car, or a red and black car possibly, but it's not Kurt Busch, so I don't know who it could be. Well, anyway, we're back to racing here in the final stage. 41 laps to settle who is going to win this 50% Daytona 500. Just keeping ahead of Ryan Newman and Ricky Stenhouse. Numa keep him behind. We've still got Ryan Blaney up in this lead pack. He's still trying to get his lap back, but he's not gotten it yet. Numa, ooh, my. Numa can't quite get that run on the outside. So Todd Gilliland has moved up into 4th place. Truex is 5th. Not many cars on the lead lap at this point in the race. Certainly after pit stops, it's really going to shuffle the field up quite significantly, I would imagine. So we're going to see more cars go laps down, more cars gain laps as we go. Stuck in the old sucker hole there for just a second. Newman and Stenhouse go through. We'll get help from the lap cars of Blaney and Harvick. But we need to keep Truex behind because, again, he is for position as well as Kurt Busch. I guess Gilliland got rooted out there, so we've got 20 laps left of fuel, and we're going to cross the line. And look at the speed. We've got 36 to go, so the next pit stop will indeed be the last one. We can definitely take a full load of fuel and get to the end. Also, a couple green-white checkers should those come out, as De Benedetto is going for his lap back, and you know what? Screw it. We're going to go with Dibby. We're going to try to get these two away from me and also give Dibby a lap back. Oh, no. Wow, what a block that was from Ryan Newman. I committed. I thought I was going to be able to get underneath him, and I ended up getting really, really screwed bad. Really screwed bad. Deegan's going to make to the inside, but Kyle Busch is certainly not. So we fall to 5th. Logano, Gilliland are the other two cars that are directly behind me and both on the lead lap. Busch and Truex were able to take advantage there. Looks like Numa is getting hung out to dry on the outside, and it looks like possibly Stenhouse as well. So that block Newman put on me has ended up not working out in his favor because it ended up giving that pack behind me a huge freaking run. De Benedetto will go to the lead in the pack. He'll be able to get his lap, or he will get his lap back. You know what driver I have not seen during this race is Denny Hamlin. Have not crossed paths with him once. So I don't know if he missed the race or what, or if he's in the pits for some reason. It's certainly possible. Any of those possibilities are possible. Of course, a pig could fly across the screen, and that also, I suppose, is theoretically possible. As we've got Numa falling back, as well as Stenhouse. They are 3 wide. The lap car of Johnson to the inside, and now We're going to dive underneath and hopefully take third place back, which we will. So defending champion Kurt Busch leading from defending overall champion in terms of the series, Martin Truex Jr. So really, NASCAR's best are leading this race right now. And car coming out of the pits. And trouble. It's Buescher. Buescher just caused everybody to jump on the brakes there. And by everybody, I mean Matt DiBenedetto. How badly did we damage our car? Not too bad. I was worried if we got the radiator, that would have been bad for power. But here comes Stenhouse on the outside. And Elliott. Hopefully that group ahead is slower than the pack. I'm kind of crossing my fingers and my toes on that one. Or at least Elliott will be able to get us back up into that fight. Cobber's back up here, but he's a lap down. But he is racing in the top 15, so good for him. We saw him run pretty strongly with the DJ Kennington Daytona. No stage affair in that one. Now in behind Chase Elliott, trying to get back up to this lead group, which contains the two leaders, Kurt Busch and Martin Truex Jr. Getting a really good run. Not quite the 2:08 we saw earlier, but certainly a quite fast entry speed into turn number 3 behind Chase Elliott, 2:04, falling to 197 here in the corner, and we're definitely not handling as good as I'd probably like to. Might make a wedge adjustment on this pit stop, especially considering that our tire wear is going to be significant because I'm not going to take tires when we come into the pits. It's just one more thing that can go wrong as Truex takes the lead as Kurt Busch gets hung out to dry on the outside. So he'll fall into the clutches, hopefully, of Chase Elliott and myself. As we've got, again, Ryan Blaney looking to the inside, still trying to get his lap back. I'm kind of glad he's not on the lead lap because I feel like Blaney has one of the stronger cars, as well as Chase Elliott at this point in the race. So kind of thankful that they're not in this fight. And that's actually William Byron up there, I believe, as well, who was in the lead pack, racing for the lead until he had to pit at the end of the stage and kind of screwed himself in terms of getting a possible victory. So we're going to give Chase Elliott just a little bit of a shove here. We're going to go cockpit view just for a little bit longer here as we have no immediate threat from behind. And that is Martin Truex Jr. I'm mistaken. I thought that was William Byron. That is Martin Truex Jr. who has fallen behind Kurt Busch. So now we're trying to shove Chase Elliott underneath Martin Truex, and Elliott will oblige and try to get underneath Truex. Is Truex going to block him? Yes, he will. So we'll give him a little bit of a shove into turn 3. We'll move up the track just a little bit. And it is Brendan Gaughan who has gotten a lap back. So Brendan Gaughan has done it the hard way, gotten his lap back, and in fact another car just in front, Austin Dillon, had his lap back and now no longer has it back. So Brendan Gaughan and Austin Dillon would get their laps back if a yellow were to come out. Now Chase Elliott's working for that lucky dog spot, which he does have for a slight moment, but Brendan Gaughan gets hung out by the leaders. So that feel-good story didn't last very long. The leaders go back to the lead. Funny how that works. Busch and Truex. As Blaney is helping us back on the inside. He's definitely got a strong car, so I'm definitely happy that he's helping me. Although Austin Dillon is not going to make that easy as he sweeps down in front of me. Brendan Gaughan's getting rooted out by Chase Elliott. And we'll work to the inside of Dillon. I think we should clear him here in turn 3. Oh, that was a late move. Oh, boy, his spotter did not tell him I was down there, or he just turned down in on me. He did not care. But, man, he's a lap car, and I'm going for the lead here. I don't care if you're trying to get your lap back, buddy. Oh, we are side by side with Brendan Gaughan. As Truex goes back to the lead around Kurt Busch. So we're trying to hang on right now. Brendan Gaughan still just on the edge of our bumper, and now in behind Kurt Busch. 27 laps to go. Fuel mileage, 10 to go. Oh, Kurt left the lane open there, but then he shut the door. And we drive poorly because he completely got in my head right there by blocking me. No doubt about it. Good on Mr. Bush. And to the outside goes Ryan Blaney. Couldn't quite get there. Chase Elliott still trying to get his lap back. Not going to happen this time. He's going to fall behind Kurt Busch and Martin Truex. The only problem here is with all these non-competitive cars, or at least cars that are not in the fight, they're racing for themselves right now. They're trying to get back on the lead lap. They're not really going to be inclined to help me get to the front unless it really helps them very much, and Austin Dillon is now to the outside. A lot of Camaros running in here. Oh, boy, that was a big shove to Chase Elliott. Oh, and again on the apron. Gotta stop doing that, David. You're going to tear your splitter up if this was simulation, which of course it's not, but you know how it is. This is fun to do this in cockpit view, by the way. As we've got Busch looking to the inside. Not going to be able to pull the pass off on Truex. But can I get underneath the lap car of Elliott? And according to Elliott's ticker, that means there's 9 cars on the lead lap. 9 cars with an immediate shot of winning the Daytona 500. Elliott, with help from Ryan Blaney, gets back around. Ryan Blaney is now on the outside. Tell me to hold my line. Well, I'm going to try to hold it underneath Chase Elliott. Not going to happen. This is very antsy racing right here, but we're actually shoving Chase Elliott past Martin Truex, and we'll get that position up to second. Truex is still on the outside, trying to work with Chase Elliott. Now we're to the inside of Chase Elliott. When we get around him, we're actually going to help Austin Dillon get back to the lucky dog spot. And now in behind Curtis, as Kamikaze Games calls him. Going to line him up. Targeting computer online. Going to try to take down the Death Star. We got 24 laps remaining here at Daytona. 77 laps complete. And fuel mileage, which I was trying to look at, 7 laps to go till we need to come into the pits to make our final stop of the day. And the question is, as we are up here at the front, are we going to have drafting partners when they come into the pits? Here comes Austin Dillon all by his lonesome on the outside. That's a bit interesting. To have a lap car make that kind of a move. Blaney is trying to get back in that lucky dog position. Now suddenly, Ryan Newman is back up here in this mix. In fact, the pack has completely gotten back together, and here comes cars into the pits. So we'll go into the lead as Kurt Busch makes his final stop of the day, as we've got 23 laps to go, making a little bit of contact with Austin Dillon right there. And here comes Martin Truex to the front. Dillon unlaps himself. Back to the lucky dog position goes Chase Elliott. Here's the battle for the lead with Martin Truex. Todd Gilliland is now third, but 1.6 seconds behind. Joey Logano, 1.7 back. Stenhouse, 1.9. So those guys a little bit off the pace. I think they've been passed by a lot of the lapped traffic, which has made their quest to win this race a little bit more difficult. Going to be a question here. Who comes into the pits? Thankfully, we have a little bit of space if Dillon decides to pull off. And into the pits he comes. So now it is A.J. Allmendinger, I believe, behind us. No, I'll retract that because that is Chris Buescher, who is now pulled up behind me and gives me a little bit of a drafting help down here into turn 1. Careful not to get LePage, but we're doing all right here as we lap Ryan Blaney, make a little bit of contact with Ryan Blaney because, of course, we need to. And now here's Curtis Busch. No, that's Clint Boyer. I am getting all the Stewart-Haas cars confused today. They all look the same from the rear because they all have black bumpers, and it's confusing me. I miss the days of Danica with the blue car where I knew which car that was. Anyway, we've got Clint Boyer just ahead of us. And now we're running in a trio with Buescher and Boyer. But Buescher probably coming off into the pits this time around. Is he? No, he isn't. In fact, didn't Buescher come out of the pits kind of recently? So maybe Buescher is actually on our sequence or close to it as we lap Gilliland. That is putting him 1 lap down. Most of the rest of this group here is putting them 2 behind the race. Possibly some of them 3 or 4, depending on how badly they've gotten screwed in the pit sequence. We're almost at an hour of recording, which means we're probably about 55 minutes of real-time race time. So we don't have to worry about Bowyer coming into the pits at least till the end of the race. I do wonder if they're going to be able to make it the rest of the way, most of the field anyway. So we've got 20 laps to go. Remember, our fuel tank only lasts about 21 laps. As we're giving Bowyer a nice shove, and back into the race comes out Alex Bowman. So Alex Bowman will make an appearance back out on the track. Clearly, he didn't really adhere to the 5-minute clock rule, but how many NASCAR rules really apply to the 88 anyway? Anyway, so, okay, Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman are on the lead. They're in the pack, I believe, just ahead of me. Buescher is running fourth, 1 lap behind the race, as well as Todd Gilliland. That's how it stacks up right now. So Busch and Newman, and there's trouble. It's contact between Busch and Chase Elliott, and that will bring out the yellow. That will allow us to pit under the caution, and a lot of the field coming into the pits because they could not make it the rest of the way on fuel. And there, DJ Kennington is the other driver who has fallen laps behind, as well as Harrison Burton. So we'll come into the pits, get everything done. No reason not to, because this is going to be a nice long extended yellow, and we will be third on the restart. 6 cars, 6 on the lead lap. Todd Gilliland is still in contention, though there were cars with wave around, so really it's a 4-car race. In fact, no, Todd Gilliland is the first car 1 lap behind the race, but running in 7th as we get back to the race. And see who will win the Daytona 500. It's going to be right now it's between Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, and myself. And Kurt Busch is hung out to dry on the outside. So now it becomes a 2-horse race between myself and Ryan Newman. We'll try to hold off these lanes of traffic as best we can here, for a little while anyway. Again, lap cars getting around me is not a big concern. Them making their lap back up is not really worrying to me. What's worrying to me is if Ryan Newman gets a good run on me. That's going to be the question. And here he comes to the outside. Ryan Newman looking, and he'll be blocked. Sorry, Numa, you don't want your second Daytona 500 win. I want it. We'll see. We'll see. Got 15 laps to go. It is crunch time here at Daytona. Sun is setting. Another very long race, as it usually is at Daytona. And to the outside, and it's my worst fear. Ryan Newman coming into the lead, and he's going to be by himself. And Kyle Busch with a huge run. Look at the run these guys got on the outside. Where did that speed come from? Well, I'll tell you where it came from. It came from the fact that Joey Logano had nobody behind him pushing me. So the pack will reform with Carbra and Busch to the outside, helping Numa. But if we can get those one of the lap cars around them, we can possibly take the lead back. Kurt Busch has fallen 4/10 of a second behind, 14 to go here at Daytona. Making almost contact with Carbra. Now we're going way too wide. Almost pushed right up into Carbra there. That would have been a big mistake. Thankfully, we didn't make it. Kyle Busch just ahead. Kurt Busch is running half a second behind. And that is a very loud horn. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. And Busch making the move down to the inside. And Busch will take his lap back. So Kyle Busch goes back to the lead lap and around Ryan Newman. But can we get a push from this Logano Ford behind me? Come on, give me a shot, give me a shove. Come on, Team Penske, help me to the win. And it looks like they're helping me right now. That is Blaney behind as well. So Blaney and Logano giving me all the drafting help I could want, as well as Kyle Busch to hopefully get around Ryan Newman. We're side by side. Oh, side drafted Ryan Newman. We're going to side draft him again. Oh, that's contact. That's not side drafting. And look at the run Ryan Newman just got with help from Kyle Busch. This race may come down to the old Tarso Marquez effect. And the Tarso Marquez effect is the old Michigan 500 in 2000. It was Michael Andretti and Juan Pablo Montoya. Well, Tarso Marquez decided to drive in front of Juan Pablo Montoya, which gave Montoya just a little bit of draft to pull him around Michael Andretti and get the Michigan 500 win. A little bit different principle, of course, in stock cars, but the same kind of thing applies where we've got a lap car and 2 leaders running side by side. But now we are the apparent leader because now it's Newman falling behind, and we'll block that outside run as best we can since Kyle Busch is deciding that he wants to run up top down the back straightaway. And now also running kind of the middle lane here through 3 and 4. So we'll get in behind Kyle. Just try to keep Logano behind, because that's going to be a big key. 11 laps to go in the Daytona 500. And it's Newman falling further and further back. Trevor Bayne back on the lead lap, as well as Chris Buescher. Logano playing nice for now. He's in a lucky dog spot should the caution come out. Kyle Busch obviously will get his lap back if the caution comes out. And Ryan Newman is falling quick, so they must have hung him out to dry. And I figure a lot of these lap cars would think that if they can hang me out to dry too, they'll all get their laps back. 10 to go. Spotter tells me to focus. I'm going to focus on the Smithfield right now, on that rear bumper of mine, and try to stay behind the M&M's bumper of Kyle. Well, I don't want to lead this pack if I can at all avoid it. Thank you, Kyle, for playing nice. The Penske Ford's behind. Of course, not Brad Keselowski. In fact, Joey Logano actually got screwed by Kyle Busch making that move to the outside. It'll allow Blaney into the lucky dog transfer spot. Carl Long is now fighting with Blaney for that. And that should be 14th position that they're fighting for. So Carl Long all the way up into 14th. Not sure if that's where that 66 car is going to finish in the Daytona 500 in the hands of Mark Thompson, but we'll see. A lot of people were defending Mark Thompson in the comment section of the Bandwagoners Guide. So, hey, you know what? I cheer for Buddy Lazier at the Indy 500, so maybe Mark Thompson can get a little bit of buddy magic. So 0.4 of a second ahead of Kurt Busch, and Kurt Busch is closing again. In fact, Kurt Busch is at the back of that little line right there, I believe. He's working to the outside of Carl Long, so it's not over yet. Kurt Busch is here, his brother, right leading this pack. Is Kyle going to do something? Is Kyle going to help his brother win the Daytona 500? Wouldn't that be a story? 8 to go. Ryan Newman, 0.6 back, not a factor. He was a factor, but Kurt is back stuck on the outside, so it may be that Kurt is going to fall back into the clutches of the rest of the field. He's back 0.4. As Blaney looking to the inside, will keep ahead of Blaney for now. And Busch back 0.4 behind. Everybody's probably going to start getting real aggressive here within 10 laps to go. That's the nature of the beast. And I do notice the AI do seem to race a little bit harder in the last 10 laps of the race. I don't know if that's a placebo effect or what, but it always feels like they do in NASCAR Heat as we get a little bit not PC with the yellow line there. But we're okay. We're sandwiched between two yellow cars. I guess we're that little black line in between the yellow lines in terms of the Daytona banking. As now, Ryan Newman has fallen all the way back. Ryan Newman is falling off the pace dramatically. Chris Buescher and Trevor Bayne have both gotten around him. Newman is back 4 seconds, and now it gets serious because Blaney has worked his way around. So has Carl Long. And look who is in the mirror. It is Kurt Busch, the defending champion. Going to try to go back-to-back. It is going to be a battle. It is going to be a fight. As his teammate is going to screw him over here just slightly, because it is Clint Boyer getting around. Look at Blaney, the power of Blaney just completely ditched Kurt Busch and dispatched of him very quickly. Or Kyle Busch, excuse me. There's a lot of Bushes in here, and one of them I'm racing for the lead. But we'll put Kyle back behind us, as well as Carl Long if we can. We'll try to work with Blaney here. Since we were nice to him, we didn't try to cut him off.
Stay low, stay low. Still a car out there. Clear.
Yeah, Ryan Newman has completely fallen off the pace. He's 4.1 seconds behind, so I don't know what could have possibly happened. Whatever happened to him did not bring out the caution, so we'll stay green. 5 to go. Is there going to be a caution? Is something going to keep this race close? Is something going to happen? Definitely looks like there was a slowdown mid-pack. If you look behind you, looks like about half the pack is gone. So somebody must have had some mechanical failure. And that'll do it. Get in here behind Ryan Blaney. Give him a little bit of a shove through 3 and 4. We'll try to tandem away from the rest of the field. I may have given him a little too much of a shove. We'll see if Carl Long can capitalize on that, but we may be able to pull away. If I can play nice with Blaney, we may be in the catbird seat to take victory. We'll see. Tense moments here. Tense moments here. You just don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know if somebody's going to screw up in the back and screw you over. We're bringing out the yellow. Anything's possible. There it is. Oh, you knew it was coming. 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 Blaney will actually get his lap back, but he's actually not the lucky dog. The lucky dog will be Clint Boyer, so that was smart of Boyer. And there you go. There, and Todd Gilliland, the great drive, ends in disaster, as he was probably the guy who had the trouble there on the final little race here. So we are in overtime. It is NASCAR overtime. It is the Daytona 500. And this is for all the marbles right here. This is... We got the BS caution that I feared. And we are racing for 2 laps here at Daytona. We're going to have to hold off the field. Kurt Busch, Trevor Bayne, Chris Buescher, Ryan Newman. Those are the leaders. Those are the guys we need to hold off. And Trevor Bayne has a really good run. He's trying to get his second Daytona 500 win and get his second win of his career. Can it be done? Is NASCAR Heat 2 going to predict Trevor Bayne as the winner of the Daytona 500? Or is it going to predict Ryan Newman? Ryan Newman is looking on the outside. Is he going to be able to get there? He's looking to the outside. He's looking, he's looking, he's looking. We're going to block 2 lanes of traffic. And right now we're holding on. Biggest race of the year. You got to hold on. And now here comes Ryan Newman. Ryan Newman back to the front. Ryan Newman will take the lead. And he will lead as we are coming to the white flag. Kurt Busch back around. Joey Logano, the jam car in this situation. Is he going to factor into this? Kurt Busch going to try. We're going to try too. It's all on the line here. Joey Logano could really help me out if he gets the inside of Ryan Newman. Can we give him enough of a shove? Can we get him around? Can we get that run? We've got a run. We've got a significant run here on Ryan Newman. Can we get to the inside? We're looking. It's going to be so close. Side drafting. Side drafting. Help from Logano. Is Logano going to push us to the Daytona 500 win? No! No! Oh! No! Let's take a look at that full last lap. Oh, it was so close. We got side by side there with Kurt Busch. I felt like it was all lost at this point. I knew my only shot was going to be Joey Logano right there. Joey Logano, I was hoping he would get to the inside. I decided to give him a bump draft here to try to help him along. That did help my momentum just a little bit. It got him to the outside of Newman, which gave me a good shot at the rear of him. And then we got into turn 3 here, and I stuck that car just to the inside. Then we were side by side through turn number 4. Side draft. Logano went with Newman for just a second. He dove to the inside, and then we come to the line, and it's just that close. Frame by frame finish here at Daytona. You can see as just come down side by side with Ryan Newman. And I don't know if it's the closest Daytona 500 in history. It certainly looks almost identical to the Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex finish from 2016. I mean, if that's not the exact margin, we'll see here in just a second as we look at the race results, but that's about as close to a realistic Daytona finish as you were ever going to have. This may have been the best race I've ever had in any of the NASCAR Heat games. So the greatest race ever in NASCAR Heat 2 ends that close. You'll have to look up the margin of victory for yourself. Denny Hamlin was in the race. Alex Bowman 3 laps behind the race, so yes, he did have trouble at some point. And the margin of victory looks like it was 0.02 of a second. I believe that's the correct way of saying that. So that's just an incredible, incredible finish. I don't even know what to say. That was unbelievable. So if you enjoyed this race, I know it was a long one. It was definitely a long one for me. If you watched all the way through, hit the freaking like button and freaking congratulate yourself in the comments, because if you went on this journey with me, it was definitely worth the watch. And I'm very happy that it ended up going this way and it wasn't totally boring the whole way through. So we finished second in our 50% Daytona 500, but man, was it worth it. This was NASCAR Heat at its best. This game can be good, folks. You just have to get really lucky. So thank you guys so much for watching. This has been David Land on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe for more NASCAR Heat and motorsport content. And we'll see you in the next video.